When Grand Blue was officially announced as having an upcoming anime release, I immediately checked my calendar to verify this wasn't some twisted April Fool's joke. The immediate joy that set in after I realized this was really happening was enough to bring a tear in my eye. One of my top 5 favorite manga was really being adapted. My expectations quickly shot through the roof. I scorched article after article to find out as much info as I could, and every time new information was released, I diligently scanned through it. However, as time went on, the fear began to creep in. Will this be a flop? One of the things Grand Blue really has going for it is the presence of Shinji Takamatsu. Takamatsu will be the director, sound director, as well as the scriptwriter for Grand Blue, and in my opinion, Takamatsu will be crucial if Grand Blue is to receive the success it deserves. The manga thrives off of its comedic aspects, especially its notorious reaction faces, and with manga to anime adaptations, sometimes that comedy can be lost in translation. Why do I put so much hope behind Takamatsu? Well, it all boils down to his previous works. He was the director for Gintama, Daily Lives of High School Boys, as well as School Rumble. These series are notable because the comedic style overlap between them and Grand Blue can be quite high, so I really believe Takamatsu will be able to make the best parts of Grand Blue shine like the sparkling ocean it's based on. While I have extreme faith in Shinji Takamatsu, the exact opposite could be said for Studio Zero G, who is in charge of the adaptation. This will only be Zero G's 8th animated work, and 2 of those will be classified as TV shorts rather than full series. Now that's not to say that newish studios can't produce quality content, because we have examples like Studio C Station. They also only have a few anime produced, but they absolutely nailed the production of Yuru Camp. However, in Zero G's case, their best and only quality show they have had to offer so far is an average adaptation of Sugumomo. More often than not, the few shows they have been involved with have been disasters, such as their adaptation of Battery. The studio hasn't shown me any reason to get my hopes up, and that's worrying to say the least. Speaking from a ratings and exposure standpoint, the fact that Grand Blue will only be up for legal streaming on Amazon is a huge detriment. The legal versus illegal streaming of anime has been a big debate in the last couple of years, and more people have been boycotting illegal streaming sites and only using legal streaming. For those who don't have Amazon Prime and are only interested in legal streaming, whether Grand Blue is a good adaptation or not won't matter in their case, since they simply won't have access to it. In fact, there are still regular anime viewers out there who don't even know Amazon Prime has an anime selection. Crunchyroll's free service could have provided thousands or even hundreds of thousands of extra eyes that Grand Blue just won't have access to by being locked behind the paywall of Amazon Prime. And that's only scratching the surface of things. Amazon's interface for finding shows is horrendous. There are times when anime episodes that are supposed to be simulcast often appear days or even weeks later. Having episodes uploaded with no subtitles is a common occurrence. All of these issues are problematic enough, but it gets even worse when you factor in Amazon's lack of urgency for securing an English dub version of the anime they acquire.
I cannot speak English!
This is something Netflix and Crunchy excel at. Amazon getting Grand Blue is the equivalent of having to wait for a home release for an English dub. Or in some cases, a dub will never even exist. These issues slowly chip away at the potential eyes that could have been on Grand Blue, giving it the exposure that it would need to be a big hit and hopefully secure a second season in the future. The ratings for this show, as far as the Western world goes, could be disastrous due to the accessibility, and that in itself is a shame. This very second, thousands of people around the world are wondering how the Grand Blue adaptation is going to turn out. That inevitably may do more harm than good. This is going to be a series that has high expectations placed on it simply due to how top-notch the source material is. Therefore, even if Studio Zero G is able to pull off an average adaptation of it, I think it will be poorly received by many just because of the high expectations. Longtime fans of the series may feel slighted and turned off if a certain standard and quality is not met and end up avoiding the series altogether. Once an anime is generally regarded as a bad adaptation, The hardcore fans tend to direct newcomers away from the anime and toward the manga, which leaves the chances of a continuation sinking to the bottom of the ocean with each passing second. As for myself, I'm going into Grand Blue nervously, and with tempered expectations. And if Studio Zero G is able to live up to the source material, well, that would just be grand.
バカ。